modeling and gaming.
Hi friends, and welcome back to the Cyberhaggis. Less punk, more pudding. This week I'm going to be painting up this Cybernetic Brawler from Model Mayhem 3D Printing Services. I'll also be giving you their discount code towards the end of the video, so stay tuned. For more anime style fast editing, flashy fight scenes and dropped frame rates, join the Cyberhaggis channel. Like and subscribe for more. Warning, Cyberhaggis channel may contain miniature painting and not high octane anime fight scenes. Hi friends, and welcome back. As I said, this week I'm going to be painting one of the Model Mayhem 3D Printing Services models that I was so kindly given the other week. So I'm going to be painting up this Cybernetic Brawler because he's got a lot of skin on show, and I have some paints I'm going to be talking about in a second that I wanted to use for this. So what I've done with this guy is I have super glued him onto a cork, and I'm going to be putting that into my holder, which you'll see in a second. Just makes it easier to grip. Make sure you don't touch the miniature too much as you're painting him. What I've done is I have undercoated him with a light grey, and then I have washed him with watered down black paint. This just allows me to see all the little details, and it also allows a line of delineation between each of the areas and acts as a sort of pre-shade, so I quite like doing that. Let's quickly talk paint. So I have got this Reaper Master Series Triad. I've never used Reaper paints before, so I'm looking forward to try them out. The idea behind this is you've got your 3 paints here, and that's all you should need for the paint color that you are using. So in this case, the skin tone. You've got tan shadow, tan skin, and then finally the highlight. So the idea behind it is you put this one on as the shade, so I think you can either put it on as the base or as a wash for this one, and then block in with this one and highlight with this one. And that is supposedly all you should need. I've never used them before. I think what I'm going to do is base coat entirely with this, do the block, do the highlight, see how it looks. That said, let's get into it. Here I am, just blocking in the tan shadow. You can see why I chose this miniature now. He's got a lot of skin on show, and I wanted to use this Reaper Triad just to see how it looked. I also, to be honest, just wanted to paint the miniature because he's a really cool mini, and I really like that cyberpunk look. Here he is with all the tan shadow on, so I gave that 2 or 3 thin coats just to make sure it was nice and even. Now I'm going to go in with the tan skin, and I'm just going to go over the raised areas and try and leave any of the parts where natural shadow would fall, or there'd be any areas of darkness. Leave that as the tanned shadow. You just need to be careful of this. Make sure you only hit the raised areas. Try not to get any of the paint in the areas between the muscles. But if you do, you can always go back and just put a little line of the tan shadow back in. I've finished putting on the tan skin layer. Now I'm going to move on to the tanned highlight. So this you have to be a bit more careful with, simply because you're not looking to block in whole areas. You're just trying to highlight the areas where light is going to be hit. And once again, put on a couple of thin layers of your highlight rather than one thick layer. This will allow you to control the paint that bit easier and make the miniature just look that bit better. Simply because you're not going to be filling in all the details with paint by mistake. So that's him completed, skin-wise. It's a bit more subtle than I would normally do, but I'm never normally happy with the way the skin comes out, and it was quite quick. I think I'd use their triads again. Next up, I'm going to do his jacket, and I'm going to do that real orange colour. So I'm going to start off with Jokeiro Orange, then I'm going to do the standard wash, Agrax Earthshade, and Troll Slayer to give it a real deep orange look, and finally highlight with Fire Dragon Bright. I'm using a mixture of paints here, as you can see. Bit of Reaper, bit of Citadel. So let's get this jacket done. So that is the base of Junkero Orange, and next up I will do a wash of Agrax Earthshade, then leave that to dry. Now that the Agrax is dry, I'm going to do a layer of Troll Slayer Orange, just to bring the colour back up. Remember, as St. Duncan says, 2 thin layers are better than 1 thick one. And that is the Troll Slayer Orange finished, so I had to put on about 3 layers of that to get a good flat surface. Next I'm going to use the Fire Dragon Bright and just highlight up, do some edge highlighting around the collar there, and try and make it look really bright and cyberpunky. Finished highlighting the orange, I added some white to the Fire Dragon just to do an extra couple of highlights, just to make the orange look that bit brighter. So next I'm going to move on to the white elements of his jacket. So that's going to be like this detail in here and like around his shoulders. The best thing to do with white is not to start with white. So I'm going to start with this ash grey, and then I'm going to move on to stonewall grey, and then slowly add some more white to that, and then eventually end up with a single white highlight. That is the white done. White's never an easy colour to get right, but I'm quite happy with the way that's come out. Need to do a bit of tidying up once I'm completed them. Next I'm going to do his shorts, and I'm going to do them green. Now there's a rule in art that says red and green should never be seen. I don't know if they say the thing about red and orange. My art teacher's hazy about that, and not a very good teacher either. So I'm going to use forest green for the base, and then I'm going to block it in with German camo bright green, and then finally for the highlight, Warcry green. So let's get that started. I like these green stuff ore ones because they already come with a ball bearing or equivalent inside. Very easy to mix. And there are his shorts completed. I also took the opportunity to paint his belt. Now, I'm considering what I'm going to do with the metal elements. So his arm, his visor, this doodad on his hand, belt buckle, etc. I want him to have that cyberpunky look. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to paint them a sort of steel colour. Wash that with Nuln Oil, and then maybe wash that again with a blue ink and then highlight up from there. I don't know how that's going to look. I think that'll look quite good, but I'll find out in just a second. I've painted the metal components with Vallejo Natural Steel, and then I give it a wash of Nuln Oil, and then a wash with some watered down blue ink, and it's come out looking like that. That's pretty much what I imagined it would look like, so that's good. Now I'm going to highlight back up. There's some things like muscle fibers and things in there that I'm probably going to paint a slightly different colour. Maybe put some details on the paneling and things. Then really all that's left to do is finish off his visor and do his hair in an appropriately extremely coloured punk style. I've completed those elements now, so I've completed his arm, so I've highlighted it up from the metallic blue. I've put in the sort of cybernetic musculature that was showing in these areas, and I've also went back and painted over some of these armor panels to give it that sort of military tan colour that you often see in anime. I guess they're taking off the colours of their JDF. The idea being, you know, that he's managed to acquire some black market military tech to go along with his cybernetics. Finally, I'm going to do his visor, and I'm going to do this in the way that you would do a gemstone. So dark in one corner, essentially light in the other. There's plenty of videos that show you how to do gemstones, so I'm just going to crack on with it and get back to you. That is his visor complete. As I said, just done exactly the same way you would a gemstone. That is him pretty much done, apart from his base, which is just sat here drying. Once he has been varnished, the matte varnish, I'm going to put a little bit of gloss varnish onto the visor, just make it look like it's made of glass. It shines a bit. And then I'll stick him to his base, and we'll show you the completed model. Remember, all these models and more are available at Model Mayhem 3D printing services. At the checkout, enter coupon code YouTube10 for a 10% discount available to my viewers. And remember, a portion of the profits go to the National Autistic Society. Get models and feel good about yourself. What's not to like? Here is the completed model. For his base, I didn't want it to distract from him, so all I did was I painted it white, and then I washed it with Nuln Oil, and I put some blue in those little details there, made it look like it was glowing a little bit. I had a lot of fun painting this guy, purely because I got to use a lot of brighter colours that I haven't been using lately. A lot of my stuff has been sort of dark fantasy things, so a lot of browns and darker colours. So being able to break out the orange and the greens and the blues was really good. If I'd been feeling brave, because he's got these big flat bits of skin, I might have tried to freehand in a tattoo or something, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I've left it where it is because I was just happy with the model as he was. You can always push it further, but sometimes it feels like maybe you're pushing your luck a little bit too much. That's how I felt at this time. I was happy with the way he was, so I just stopped there. I did notice a couple more 3D artifacts while I was painting the miniature, mostly around like his legs and arm. However, once the paint's on, you can't really notice it. I'm really happy with the way he came out. I hope you guys are as well. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of him. I'm really looking forward to painting some more of these Cyberpunk models. They're totally different from what I've been doing before. If you've enjoyed what you've seen in this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.